Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm Mike Norland. When you look at the Great Pyramid of Giza, what do you see? It's a marvel, right, of ancient engineering. But today, I want you to look at it not as like a tomb or a monument, but as like a perfect architectural guide for building a truly balanced life, a life where you're rooted in the earth but reaching for the stars, right, on your path. So the pyramid is like, to me, is like a masterclass in stability. It's a metaphor for how we must build our personal foundations, moving slowly and diligently from the ground up towards our highest self. The key is that massive, unshakable base. That wide base of the pyramid is the defining feature. It is a wide, dense, and connected to the earth. This is the first and most crucial phase, in my opinion, of our personal and spiritual growth, the foundation of diligence and patience. This base represents our physical body, our environment, right? And our practical daily habits that we have to endure or do. So we have to acknowledge, if you live in the West, we do have aspects of the Western mind and culture that plays a role in our viewpoint. I think it's okay to even add some scientific approach on our journeys and path. If we want consistency, growth, and a well-rounded progression as a base, then it would be difficult, right, to ascend to a higher consciousness, in my opinion, if your foundation is crumbling and we don't have a strong battery source to remain on that path. If you're sleep deprived, right? Just examples. If we don't care to study our body, the genes, nature's workings, living in constant cyclical chaos or perpetually stressed, that base is weak and things won't make sense most of the time. This is why we must dedicate ourselves to the earthly work, working our way from the root up, respecting our vessels and connection to the environment first. Diligence in taking care of your body, eating nourishing foods, moving, knowing how they affect our body, chemistry, how our lifestyle patterns affect our body. For example, even day and night cycles, seasons, and even resting is important on this path. Patience in creating a healthy environment. So organizing your space, nurturing your relationships, and managing all houses that you would see in mundane astrology, right? There's 12 houses, think of it, 12 areas of life. This phase is not glamorous, but it is non-negotiable, in my opinion. When I'm doing readings for people, if you skip that wide base and just try to jump straight to the peak, you're building an inverted pyramid, which is unstable, easily tipped, and likely to result in a complete mental or emotional crash. I even encounter a lot of doubts. You'll drop into chaos because you haven't really truly understood or respected your rootedness, your physical self, your subconscious mind, and our connections to the environment, right? Nature, etc., which causes a lot of problems. So when you think about it, as we move up the pyramid, the structure naturally narrows, and this symbolizes the journey into the deeper knowledge and self-awareness, right? The ascent is slow. So think of like thousands of stone blocks that make up the pyramid, the structure, right? All those different layers. Each block is like a piece of knowledge, a meditative insight, or hard won lesson learned through patience. This is why I'm a promoter of slow, deliberate movement. To me, is vital because it keeps us balanced. When your foundation is strong, you have a sound mind. You can explore the challenging aspects of spirituality, the celestial or stellar thinking, those deeper questions about purpose, consciousness, and the universe without losing your footing. You can explore your higher self because your lower self is already being cared for and respected in a sense, right? So the pyramid is always getting closer to the sky, but its connection to the earth is constant. This is your mental state. Think of it like that. You could have your head in the stars, but your feet must be remain, right, firmly planted in the reality of your body and your home, in a sense, right? It's a balancing act. So the apex, right, the very tip of that pyramid is where the lines converge, the point of the highest connection. It's the pinnacle of wisdom, right? The connection to the universal and the celestial. This is what it looks like symbolically. This apex isn't like a destination where you stop working. It's a perspective that you gotta earn. It's a state of being where the earthbound and the starbound aspects of your life are in perfect harmony. You've achieved balance, right? With the inner worlds and your outer worlds. Think of it like that. So the lesson of the pyramid to me is it's simple, but yet profound. Stability leads to clarity, which is why one of my favorite goddesses is Ma'at, since she represents the fulcrum and harmony between energies of order and chaos, right? That nothingness and its somethingness, if you want to think of it like that. If you feel chaotic, stressed, or spiritually adrift, don't look up, look down. You got to get back to the roots sometimes, the base, recommit to diligence and patience required to build the most honest, healthy, and rooted foundation you can. Embrace the heavy, honest work of the base, and the ascent to your higher self will take care of itself, especially on this, during this age with a lot of shortcut information is being presented, right? And those can leave you fragmented, confused. Sometimes, right? I get it. We naturally want to look. So you want to keep, in essence, keep building block by block, stay grounded on your journey. It's very important because a lot of times people that I'm seeing online, sometimes we're making opinions about things that we haven't really fully like committed in depthly researching, right? One aspect I think I'm gonna do in the next episode is that a lot of spiritualities is also tied to the cultures. There's a cultural aspect to the spirituality that you got to respect or think about as well. Then the land, the environment, in my opinion. And then, like I said, your health, your body. There's a lot of things I think that you don't want to bypass. Um, if you do, I think it just creates a lot of instability. This is what I'm seeing when people are asking me for help. So this is why I decided to make this little podcast, just a reminder that you have the ability, that power, right? The pyramids of presence, earth, body, and the spirit, right? Or the stellar science, combining those two, all those. All right. Take care. Peace, much love, and respect. See you next time.